Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Maxi here once again, and I am back for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Luigi's Mansion 2, aka Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon for those of you who lived in North America, for the Nintendo 3DS/Nintendo Switch, as we are still playing through Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. So, yesterday we did somehow manage able to show off Rush mode, intensity forms of ScareScraper mode, and no, we actually did that particular mode not great, especially concerning for the fact that out of nowhere, one of those players in particular just stood there and letting the time run out, and basically though, we didn't make it to the top. Well, mind you about the fact that it was roughly about, well, we've got to the point for the likes of floor 4, but aside from all that stuff though, that's as far as we can able to go for this point. So, hopefully we can able to redeem ourselves for the next mode we can able to check out for today's video. That's what appears to be Polterpup mode, where basically in this particular Polterpup mode is that we need to find one of the Polterpup houses and stuff like that somewhere in the forms of this any other rooms of the ScareScraper itself. Now once you've done so, trying to find that particular house, basically though, it's your chance to able to actually capture every single Polterpups until you move on to the next floor. So yeah, that's essentially how this mode plays out to be, and of course, just like the forms of how it does on the previous mode, I'm actually going to be stuck with the forms of Orange Luigi for now on. So yeah, nothing else I can really say about it, apart from the fact that, well, today's date of course there is the 30th of October today, in some cases in 2024 today, so generally speaking it's about the fact that as a result, we've only got about roughly 8 days left now until Mario Luigi Brothership is going to be releasing for the Nintendo Switch, of course. And in addition to that, is that tomorrow is about the fact that Halloween is about to start until tomorrow. So this means this will be a perfect opportunity about the fact that if, assuming of course about the fact that we need to do quite well in terms of the forms of Polterpup mode, because as you can tell, every time if you do manage able to come across into the Polterpup houses in one of those rooms in particular, there are usually 3 of those Polterpups that we do need to capture. So because of this though, yeah, it's your chance to able to actually grab one of those Polterpups, although in order to able to successfully try to complete the floor, we need to capture all 3 of these Polterpups, and as a result you can potentially try to move on to the next floor. So because of that though, and as far as I'm aware, we ended up in endless mode, at least as far as I can recall that. So this means about the fact that it doesn't really matter how far you've gone into, and as a result though, it could be more like a marathon of any sort. So because of this though, hopefully we'll try our best this time around though, unlike the forms of how it does on the previous mode, which is of course Rush mode, but that's just mainly because, well, some players has somehow left the game, and on top of all that stuff though, let's just hope about the fact that one of those players doesn't act out like a, well, a sort of stubborn or anything else like that. Well, mind you, it has been about quite a few hours ago since I actually have last played this game for sure, because as to be expected, I'm still managed to be playing through Sonic X Shadow Generations on my spare own time, not only on the Switch version, but as well as the Xbox One version, just in case for practicing the entire game before you're able to actually get onto the Let's Play of the game at some point until 2025 sometime. But of course, about the fact that, like what Sonic has already mentioned about this before, we still need to able to try to figure out to do a redo Let's Play of Sonic Generations for the 3DS version just before you get onto the forms of Sonic X Shadow Generations for reals. So we shall see what happens in due time. So either way, so as a result, we somehow got ourselves our upgraded let's just say the gauge upgrade for level 2 anyway, and as far as I'm aware, I actually got something very rewarding. So either way though, it all really matters is about the fact that in order to able to get one of those prizes is that you have to able to specifically try to get more red coins than anybody. So as a result though, it means I can able to see some invisible objects. As a result, that clearly shows us the location if I use the dark light. And thankfully though, unlike the main game, you can't able to actually suck up all of those spirit balls or anything else like that. So instead, if you manage to able to use the dark light in one of those invisible objects, there you can able to actually just do, well, reveal it immediately. So either way though, well, somebody else has managed able to meet up with the phones of that particular Polterpups after all. So as a result though, hopefully we're trying to find them. Thankfully though, with the night vision goggles or anything else like that, it actually tells you the phones of not only invisible objects, but as well as where the Polterpups are. Similar to the phones of how it does on the main game. So either way though, there's nothing right to harm about. So anyway, there are a few things I would like to explain about this actually, is about the fact that recently though, in about a couple of days ago, not only do we able to actually get ourselves not only one new trailer of one of those remastered games, but as well as a full-on remake game did receive the actual trailers. So as a result though, those two being Croc Legend of the Gobbos, that's basically though, not only does it reveal a brand new trailer for the game, but it's also about the fact that it's eventually going to be coming onto a multitude of platforms, as to be expected. So as a result, it's going to be releasing on not only for the PlayStation 4, but as well as PlayStation 5, and Xbox One, Xbox Series X/S, as well as, I would say PC or something. Well, not exactly entirely sure about that, but also Nintendo Switch. So as a result though, if that game decides able to release at some point, probably until either this year or early next year, depending on the forms of the actual current situation about the forms of this particular teaser has been happened, in regards to the forms of one of those game remakes has officially got its new trailer and stuff, which I'll get to now in a moment. So, yeah, relatively speaking, that was about the fact I don't think it's possible for me nowadays when it comes to getting a PS1 physical copy of the game anymore, in regards to the forms of Croc Legend of the Gobbos, or potentially the Sega Saturn version if possible, but I don't know, we shall see what happens in due time, especially noticeable concerning for the fact at this point in time that I'm still really hoping about the fact that we can able to actually reveal something. Well, to be more specific than that, there's also another thing it's worth mentioning for, is about the fact that out of nowhere, we actually did manage able to receive a new version update, specifically for The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and as a result, that game is currently now on to version 1.0.2. So generally speaking, they did manage to bring up 3, general updates in regards to the forms of the actual specific patch updates, regardless of the forms of that particular game. Like, for instance, they fixed an issue where an invisible wall at the entrance to Goron City would impede progress and journey forms within the main quest at Elden Volcano, and there's also they fixed an issue at that particular location where the player could target empty space, then binds that to that target and pull in a way that would impede progress. And finally, they fixed various issues to create a smoother gaming experience. So yeah, that's as far as I can try to say about that particular update patches as far as I'm aware for The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, despite the fact that it has been about quite a few days ago since I actually have last played that game, just because it's probably best for me to able to wait on that game for a while until, if the actual patch update has been addressed, which as a result it already did anyway. And on top of all that stuff, that was about the fact that I'm still busy playing through, Sonic X Shadow Generations on the Switch version, and then once I'm completely done with that, then I can potentially try to say I'm really looking forward to able to experiencing Mario Luigi Brothership, of course. So, mind you, I still haven't exactly fully 100% on any of these 3DS games just yet though, for the Mario Luigi games, specifically though, Bowser's Minions mode, alongside with the forms of Bowser Jr.'s Journey. Well, that's just mainly because I'm not a big fan of the forms of the random luck-based elements to it. So because of that though, I'm biased I guess, so either way. Also, about the fact that out of nowhere, for those of you who lived in Australia, alongside with New Zealand, apparently though, one of those games in particular, when it comes to physical version, has officially been cancelled on Australia, alongside with New Zealand, and that game in questioning is Phantasm Neo Dimension. So I honestly have no idea why the physical version of that game has been cancelled for 2 of those different countries. So yeah, I've got no words. So anyway, there's also another thing it's worth mentioning for actually. I've heard about this quite a few times in the past few days, despite the fact that it once again mentions the rumor word. But apparently though, someone actually did say they're apparently going to be making a Rayman remake game at some point in the future, which I'm not exactly sure what game they'll try to remake for, but my guess it will probably have to be saved up and during at some point until next year, in regards to the films are trying to celebrate Rayman's 30th anniversary until 2025, alongside with the films of Toy Story 30th anniversary and also in next year, and on top of that with the Super Mario Bros. Franchise for the 40th anniversary, don't forget. So yeah, I have high expectations about that, I have to be honest here, and especially notable concerning for the fact that from what I've heard from the likes of Ubisoft, that when it comes to the forms of how a factor of the actual development of Beyond Good and Evil 2, it did say about the fact that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still alive and kicking. So as a result though, thankfully that game is not cancelled though, at least thankfully anyway. So it's going to be one of those moments about the fact that sometimes, you know, developing certain games can take a very long time to do so, especially concerning for the fact that much like the forms of how it does it in Hollow Knight Silksong, we still have no idea if the actual game is going to be releasing during that time, but I suppose we'll find out more about it probably at some point until 2025 if possible. So either way though, and when it comes to the forms of one of those remake games has officially got its trailer, which as a result we got a brand new trailer in regards to the forms of Yoka Replay, which as a result that particular game is basically a remake of the original Yooka-Laylee. So as a result though, not only is it about to be able to actually be released on multitude of platforms potentially, like for instance it's going to be releasing on PC as we know, and there's also Xbox Series X/S just because of the graphics alongside with the PlayStation 5, but also out of nowhere there's a Nintendo logo, which I was like, could it be possible about the fact that it's going to be releasing on the Switch successor or something? Well, I suppose that might be true, especially concerning for the fact that at this point in time, that Nintendo is basically pretty much done in regards to the forms of releasing some of those first-party titles for the likes of Nintendo Switch or something. Well, apart from the fact that we've only got about technically 3 games left at this point in time anyway, which are Mario Luigi Brothership. As I said this before, we've only got about 8 more days left at this point. In addition to that though, it's about the fact that when it comes to Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, and of course Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. So as a result though, again it's a bit of a you know, it's a shame about the fact that one of those games have been missed out for Nintendo Switch re-releases and stuff like that, ranging from Super Mario Galaxy 2, Super Mario 3D Land, alongside with the forms of, I would say, the original Luigi's Mansion for that matter, and not to mention though with The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD, and also there's the forms of other games I could probably think about on top of my head at the moment. But regardless of such though, oh no way, I think something tells me that the other players has been left for this particular lobby and stuff like that, which as a result, yep, I was all alone. So because of that though, I don't think it's a possibility we can able to go through multitude of floors or anything, so I think I get the strong feeling I might able to get a game over at this point. So because of that though, but at least I still managed to keep myself my fancy night vision goggles or anything else like that, or the dark light vision goggles, but either way. Oh yeah, every once in a while though is about the fact that we will come across into certain ghosts exclusively onto ScareScraper mode. So it only happens when journey forms have been floor 5 and onwards. So generally speaking, I was about the fact that I get the strong sense of feeling, despite the fact that none of those players are there anymore. So as a result though, I'm completely screwed over right there. Oh yeah, much like the forms of how it does on the first Luigi's Mansion game, there are a couple of times that we will come across into fake doors, which plays pretty much exactly like the forms of how it does in the first Luigi's Mansion game, except, well, the animation itself is going by a lot quicker, rather than just trying to slow things down. And as you can see, this particular ghost right here has the insane amount of health, ranging from 500 HP, but of course I can't do this by myself, because as far as I'm aware, I'm about to get butt kicked at some point, because not only for the sake of the forms of tons of sneakers here, but as well as from that though, it's about the fact that if I dare manage to press the A button, if I managed able to fill up the gauge or something, obviously that was about the fact that I ended up getting stuck in this particular goopy stuff, and as a result though, despite it's been a very long while since we actually come across into that particular type of ghost like that, especially after the events of that particular Paranormal Chaos mission from the likes of Treacherous Mansion and stuff like that. So But either way though, let's get into the forms of another thing is worth mentioning for in regards to the forms of, you know, that particular teaser for that particular Nintendo release of Yoka Replayly. I do apologize for that particular tongue twist in the end, folks, because as you can tell, I was trying to concentrate on this part, because obviously though, if I ended up, you know, trying to fail at this at all, this means about the fact that this might actually go pretty rough, and on top of all that stuff though, yeah, it's not gonna go that well, because I just found it very unbelievable that certain players has left me all by myself, and as a result though, there is no way I can able to try to do this. So yeah, I suppose there goes the forms of our run of Polterpup mode. So I suppose, tell you what though, until it gets to the point until tomorrow anyway, hopefully we can able to properly try to redeem ourselves in regards of the forms of the third and final mode, which appears to be Hunter mode. So I'm guessing that Hunter mode will be a lot more interesting, to say the least, especially considering for the fact that we still have to capture ghosts after all. But usually, relatively speaking, it's just about the fact that, well, I just wish there was actually, well, certain players needs to cooperative with me, especially no matter what though, it's about the fact that I'm guessing it's probably because certain, Wi-Fi connections has gone a bit messed up and stuff like that, but I suppose beggars can't be choosers, because let's face it though, I don't think it's possible we can able to complete this floor. So because of that though, yeah, I do apologize about the fact that this run did not go too well, especially concerning for the fact that I was potentially trying to capture some ghosts that way. I mean, let's face it though, it's about the fact that in regards to the forms of trying to capturing every single ghost in ScareScraper mode, it's going to be a lot of grind heavy. So because of that though, yeah, I get the feeling I might as well, oh, wait. Ah, dang it, I somehow got knocked out. Ah, jeez, we got screwed over by two modes in particular so far, ranging from one mode that we somehow run out of time, and then the other mode, well, we somehow died due to the forms of none of those players has been, has got to the resume point. So at least I did try my best, I guess, but at least I managed to able to get more money at the very least, like 160 gold anyway. So I suppose with all that being said, folks, is that we got endings off this point right here. So join me tomorrow for more of Let's Play of Luigi's Mansion 2, aka Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, is that we're about to check out Hunter mode in ScareScraper mode. So stay tuned until tomorrow. Later, fellas.